Good morning. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. There's one thing that's not been getting spoken about really by a lot of people is Reo Hatate. Reo Hatate and his exploits over the course of the season haven't been what they should have been and spoken about. Martin O'Neill decided to leave Reo Hatate off the bench altogether. And that was a big surprise to a lot of people on the final day of the football season. Let's just see this. Exploits over the course. And Reo Hatate didn't join in the celebrations either, just to add a little bit more spice to the rumours. I think that we're all expecting Reo Hatate to leave this year. When you look at the video that was put out, and you see this one, I mean, Reo doesn't. Martin O'Neill at the beginning of the video, you see Martin O'Neill cuddling Reo Hatate, warm embrace for Reo Hatate, and then Reo Hatate goes away to you see him there, kind of smiling, but he doesn't join in. But the goalkeeper that's been out injured for a few months now joins in. Other players joined in, but when you see Reo Hatate standing at the back of the room, young Colby Donovan was even in there. See Colby Donovan, excited as anything. And then Kasper Schmeichel taking part in the celebrations. And Reo Hatate is standing at the back. You see him here. And there's Reo Hatate there. And he's not joining in at all. And it's kind of strange because Reo Hatate as a player, he's won a lot of championships before. He's won a lot at Celtic. When you look at what he's won altogether, it goes back to 2020. He was the Japanese Cup winner. And 2020, he was also a champion. 2021, he was a Japanese champion. 2021, he was a Japanese Super Cup winner. He then comes to Celtic in the 2021 season, 22, come halfway through the season. He goes on to win the championship 5 times in a row. For a player to win 5 in a row in a foreign country, you would think that he would be over the moon. You think it would be an achievement of a lifetime. But Reo Hatate just wasn't interested at all. Reo Hatate's also won 2 Scottish League Cups and 2 Scottish Cups. Just shows you that trebles are kind of hard to come by. Because he's only won the Cups twice each. Anyway, tell me what you think about Reo Hatate in the comments section this morning, and how much do you think that we will get? Good morning from Oklahoma. How much do you think that we'll get for Reo Hatate? Reo Hatate Reo Hatate crossed his legs and looked in a huff. Good morning from Oklahoma. Just trying to get some Reo Hatate conversation. Right, this living. He should have been dropped many times for his very poor performances, says Stephen. Why do you think that his performances have been so bad? We all know that he wanted away last summer along with Daiz Maeda. We all knew that there was a World Cup coming up. I mean, Kyogo Furiashi said that he wanted to leave Celtic because he wanted to increase his chances to get into the international squad for the World Cup. That proved to be one of the worst mistakes that Kyogo Furiashi ever made. Kyogo went to France. The French didn't like him one bit whatsoever. They decided to cut their losses and they sold him to Birmingham. And I think he always only had 1 goal, if I'm stand corrected, at Birmingham. Reo Hatate hasn't made the World. I don't think he will make the World Cup squad. He's not been in teams in the lead up to the World Cup, and when you look at the fact that Daizen Maeda has done. Daizen Maeda will go to the World Cup. He will be able to get his pick of teams, I think, this summer. I mean, I think there'll be a couple of clubs down in England will look at Daizen Maeda, and I think that what is the valuation of Rio and Daizen? That is the big question that we should really be asking. Some people say that Reo Hatate was once worth around about £18 million to Celtic. Was he ever worth that? Let me just double check another site. Yeah, Reo Hatate. He's contracted. See, the thing is, he's contracted with Celtic up to the summer of 2028. So he's still got a good few years left on his contract. Is that right? Is his contract 2028? His profile. Yeah. I mean, it leaves Celtic in a very good position because he's still, and that makes it even more bizarre. So when you look at transfer market, his last contract extension was in 2023. He signed a contract extension to the end of May 2028, and his valuation has kind of fell. I mean, it says on Transfer Market that his highest valuation was 13 million euros, and when you look at other sites, it said that he was once valued at around about 8 million. Some say between 7 and 8 million that you would get for Reo Hatate. The Japanese international has recently drawn interest from clubs in England, Europe, and elsewhere. Celtic reportedly rejected recent offers. The fact that he's been playing less towards the end of the season, the fact that there's a big shout for well, there's not just a shout. There's a need for an overhaul in the squad this summer. Will Reo Hatate? I think that his body language says that he won't be here next season. Daizen Maeda, he turned up when it mattered, didn't it? I mean, the last 5 games of the season, Daizen just went, do you know what? I'm not going out a loser. And kind of made sense, didn't it? 2 Japanese lads, don't know who I was, said Martin O'Neill. One learned Maeda, one didn't. That's an interesting one. Martin O'Neill did say that, but I don't think he went into that depth. I'd take 5 million for Reo Hatate. His attitude will deter buyers. With Hatate's performance this season has not been good enough to attract more. A move away. Do you think would that put players off? We'll be lucky to get between 5 and 7 million for Rio. Maeda's worth 20 million all day long down south. Hatate hasn't been consistent the whole time he has been here. That's why no international involvement. Maybe say 2 million if we're lucky. Brentford and Everton are in for Daizen. What would be a good club for Daizen Maeda to go to? I mean, I know that he wants to go and try and play at the highest level to test himself, to test his speed and such like. But what would be a really good club for Daizen? I mean, would Everton be a good club? Brentford, lower league, wouldn't Daizen want to be trying to aim a little bit higher? Or is he just I just want to go and play. I just want to try football there. I'm not really worried if it's a club that's in contention for stuff. It is an interesting one. Brentford or Everton. I wouldn't see. The thing is we hold our players in such high regard. Do you know, Daizen Maeda has been a fantastic player for Celtic. His goal scoring exploits last year was absolutely phenomenal. Outstanding from a winger to get 30 goals in a season for Celtic. He's not been on fire this season. But you would kind of hope that our players, it's never really happened, has it though? Our players go on to do better things. You always kind of hope that a player will leave Celtic and go into something bigger. And not just in a means of hey, you know, you'd hope that it would actually go on to achieve something in the game, and it would kind of vilify and it would kind of justify the admiration that the fans have for our players. When a player goes away to England and he doesn't really achieve things, and then you then get the English going, well, it's a pub league. What do you expect? It's a kind of bit. I don't know, it makes you feel a little bit sad, doesn't it? But anyway, good luck if he goes to Brentford. Everton may be okay, but can't see Everton winning anything either. But anyway. On Saturday morning, Rio found out he was not listed in the Japan squad. Is that why he was left out altogether? I don't think that would be the reason that Martin O'Neill would leave him out. Why should Sky and the media not be called out for announcing Hearts players had been assaulted? I did last night, and we spoke about that on last night's video. Take whatever's offered for him. He is rubbish. Talking about Reo Hatate. Maeda has a year on his contract, so you won't even get 10 million for him. Yeah, Brentford. Brentford would be good. Brentford. Yeah, that's more like it's Scott. That's what I'd be thinking. But Liverpool are in a bit of turmoil as well. They're on about getting rid of the manager. they're not in the best of places right now, are they? Maybe 10 million with these last 5 or 6 weeks for Daiz Maeda. 20 million plus for Dyson. There's no other player like that in Europe, in my opinion. Irreplaceable. Dyson would be on 80 grand a week at Brentford. Is money more important than trying to play for a team that can win things for these players? Do you know, they say that it's all honour and all the rest of it, and they want to do their best for the team. When you look at the league position of Brentford, currently 8th in the English Premier League. When you look at the fact teams that are going down, Wolves, Burnley, West Ham, looks as if West Ham are going to go down, rather than Spurs, which I kind of hope. That would be fantastic if Spurs do go down on the last day of the season. West Ham manages to to stay up. That would be funny. More than anything. Nottingham Forest, away down the bottom of the league. Everton, 12th position. It's not exactly teams that are going to be fighting for the top 4, is it? Or top 6. Would a top 6 team like Arsenal, Man City, Man United, dare I say Aston Villa, Liverpool? I mean, Brentford will be in Europe. They'll be in the Conference League next season if they manage to maintain that position, unless Sunderland can do something the last day of the season. What's still one game to go down south. So it is interesting. We'll wait and see what the summer brings. Who cares? Let him go, says Stephen. 5 million for Hatate. You're having a hard week off. Kyogo, Rio, Dyson have all been our best players at times, yet they have all been baffling at times. I've loved our Japanese connection. And will this ultimately will be the summer that Japanese connection that Ange Postecoglou brought to the club, will that be a closing chapter? Because I don't think that we're able to bring out the best players out of Japan anymore. When you look at some of the players that we've brought out, I mean, Shin Yamada getting put down to the second tier in Germany. When you look at Hateo and Amura going back to Tokyo, it's going to be an interesting summer to say the least. I think Rio's worth 5 million. The lack of pace and his work rate, etc. Everyone's dream in the SPFL wants to play in the Premier. Much better and competitive. Is it everyone's dream? Callum McGregor would say otherwise. I don't know. There's some Celtic players that have. I mean, would you say that Kieran Tierney, was it a dream of his, or was it just pure chance? It'd be interesting if you asked Kieran Tierney, if you had the chance to have not went to Arsenal, because let's face it, he didn't have a great time at Arsenal, and if you could have stayed at Celtic all these years, what would you have preferred? It'd be an interesting one. Who's Matt O'Reilly with now? His career has seriously went south. Matt O'Reilly's on for a big move this summer, is he not? He's wanted in Spain by Atletico Madrid, I do believe. Yeah. I believe that he is wanted by Atletico Madrid. They will finally get their man. What happened to Matt O'Reilly? Yeah, an interesting one to see what happens to him in the summer. Is he not? Yeah, he's on about moving this summer. I remember seeing something about that. And Celtic scored 24 goals in their last 8 games. And that's something that we were bemoaning about all season, wasn't it? Was the lack of goals. But um, you've got to say, the players that played definitely turned up, didn't they? Right, I'm going to jump to the end of the comments. Apologise if I'm not reading. Ray's coming in. I think Bernardo will be away too. There's a lot of players that will be away. And the Premier League is the big payday. Yeah, it's a big payday, but is it seriously the better league? Um, is it the best league in Europe? I personally don't think so. But then again, there is English teams in every level of the competitions in Europe at the moment. So who says money can't buy you success when the three main competitions in Europe all have English teams in it? Who do you think the most valuable players are in the SPFL? Well, the majority of them will be Celtic players. I don't think that there's anyone 10 million rated outside Celtic. I think that he will struggle down south, says Kev. Man City would be a good fit for him because they play fast attacking football. This is true. But yeah, anyway. That is Reo Hatate this morning. Anyway, there's another bit of breaking, well, it's not really breaking news, but there's more talk about Benji Negrin reportedly being on a short list of potential targets for Tottenham Hotspur this summer, as long as they could stay in the Premier League. And will that make a difference to who will become the next Celtic manager? Because if they do stay in the Premier League, it said that a certain Robbie Keane is likely to go to Spurs over Celtic. Celtic need to come out and make a decision quick, don't they? They really need to just tell us whom the manager is going to be next season. And Celtic could accept a big for the perfect striker. Speculation is going to start just popping up every couple of hours now, isn't it? Now that the season is over, we've got one game left this weekend. Who will Martin O'Neill play this weekend? Will Reo Hatate, who never even got onto the pitch last weekend for the final game of the season, didn't even get dressed. Who will play this weekend? We obviously know that Sinisalo will be in goals. Does he stick with the back line? The trusted back line that can change from a 4 at the back to a 3 at the back. That was that was the most sweetest thing that I've ever seen Martin O'Neill do, is change Celtic back to a 3-5-2. I hope there's a manager that comes in next season. I hope the manager that comes in wants to play two strikers up front, because I think you need it in Scottish football, especially when teams sit back the way they do. I mean, you look at that breakaway from the Hearts free kick, to know Iniacho breaking down the player, getting the ball, and then the ball goes out to Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor with a sweet pass, and Iniacho, young Callum, Osmond, and the old James Forrest just running up the pitch. Absolutely phenomenal. So who will be the team that starts the cup final this weekend? Early predictions for me is Alistair Johnson, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, and Callum McGregor. He will start before Sriracha. Sriracha will be on the bench. Sriracha is a fantastic player for us. I hope that we get that deal done and dusted, but it's all coming down to how much game time Trusty will get. That's because I read Trusty on the screen there. Sriracha. It all depends on how much game time he thinks he's going to get next season before he commits to Celtic. And ultimately, could be a case of who's the manager. The manager might not fancy Sriracha more than Kieran Tierney. When we look at the midfield, I think it'll be Callum McGregor, Arne Engels, and Benji Nygren will start. The same three will start the cup final. Will Reo Hatate get a place on the bench? Paulo Bernardo, he can't even get a place on the bench. What will happen to those two in the summer? Oxlade-Chamberlain, he'll get a place on the bench. The forward three, well, I think Callum Osmond will be on the bench. Iheanacho will be on the bench. I think the manager will start with Yang, Tanekte, and Dyson Maeda up front, with Jamesy Forrest also on the bench. That's my early prediction for the team this weekend. I think it's can't wait for the weekend now, actually. Going to Hampden is always brilliant. It's a fantastic day, especially if you get the right boozer sorted out beforehand. And I got many good memories of taking the bus route to Hampden, getting the pub sorted out, get through there early, get some scran, some beers, down to the game. It is the worst stadium in Scotland, let's not face it, and it's terrible to try and get to. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. New manager would need to come in right after the cup final. We need a full pre-season transfers instead of last-minute panic buys and loans. What if the manager is at the World Cup? What if the manager is at the World Cup and he's his number two's at Celtic? What's news with Jota? Arguably our best player. He is still recuperating. He's not expected to be back at Celtic until next season. Until pre-season, he's expected to be back. I was actually watching McInnes every time he went to the dugout, thinking he can't keep going. He did. Rabbits in the headlight. O'Neill schooled him big time. Was Jota there on Saturday? Not that I've seen. I believe that Sriracha could easily play in Kalmak's position and move Kalmak. I'm not too sure about that one. Sriracha is a fantastic player in the position that he's at. Sausage McInnes got carried away. Yeah, he did. If it's Martinez, Maloney can run it for him until he's back. Maloney kind of runs the show as it is, but who would be making decisions on players? I mean, you would want the manager. Martinez has been in Scotland over the last couple of weeks. It'll be interesting. If we win the cup, and we don't want Lenny, gets the European place. Lenny to win the cup, just to get European. I mean, that would be fantastic for Dunfermline. Hearts targeted Trusty, allowed him all the ball, pushed on him. It was a strange game at the first half because Trusty was getting loads of the ball. Anyway, who cares about that? It's done and dusted. Still not thinking about Hampden. I had a ticket for Airdrie. Didn't get it. Missed it. Van Houdix. Yeah. Poof. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. Just the quick ones, as it is now the end of season. Have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are. If you're watching this back, tell me how much you think Reo Hatate is in the comments, and how much you think Dyson Maeda is worth in the comments, and how much will we get for both players in the summer. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.